Well, good morning again. This is really different. I know everybody's going to miss the Eggs Benedict, but actually I prefer Mass in the chapel to a hotel ballroom. But I will miss not having the audio visuals for, to go through this. It takes your eye off me and away from, lots and lots of words being said. So I think what you have to do is kind of conjure up. We're in the chapel where the students are every day. Just kind of conjure up the spirit of the students. A number of them are here today serving and in the choir and orchestra and ushering. So, they're around us. I just have to add this before I start. This is always a great occasion, and it's always neat to be able to greet people after the breakfast or during the breakfast. But just seeing so many come up for communion, it strikes me that we have alums who graduated from the downtown school. We have several alums here who have had their sons go to Jesuit, or alums who have just been long associated with the school, even though their sons never came to Jesuit. We have new parents whose sons just started a few weeks ago, and by the time those boys' sons are coming here in 30 years or so, it'll be 100 years since the ones who are here now who went to the old school downtown. It's just just the length and depth and breadth of the community is really here present with us today. It's great. Every year, it's one of my favorite events. And it's really to honor, thank you, the President's Circle, because your generosity and your support plays such a critical role in our success. And, this past year, to say that it was unique and challenging is pretty massive understatement. But in spite of everything, it's a year that we're incredibly proud of. And so I'd like to share with you some key moments that stood out in all the different areas of school life. We began the year, actually as we did this year too, with a record enrollment. Both years began last year and this year at 834 students. And so much of the formation takes place right here in the chapel. In Convocation, we pretty much renew our school identity every single day, offering prayer to God and honoring the accomplishments of our students. The student body president is usually right over there to do the announcing and honor those students. Convocation speakers, that's kind of the heart of Convocation. It can be students, faculty, alumni, community leaders. And they share with us something important in their lives, something about faith, about service, or just kind of life lessons itself. Early last year, we had a convocation with, some local political leaders joined us for Convocation to help us recognize the school's 120th anniversary. Joseph Citro of Tampa City Council read a proclamation from Mayor Castor and also a commendation from the City Council. And Della Curry then issued a special commendation on behalf of Hillsborough County Commission. I don't know if the students care about all the proclamations and wherefores and so forth, but they love the cake and the milk after those kind of convocations. Mike White, the head coach of UF's men's basketball team and actually a proud graduate of Jesuit High New Orleans, a former student of mine, spoke on the importance of Jesuit education and how it's helped him face adversity in life. Julian Brebois, the general manager for the Lightning, shared the importance of priorities and goal setting as a key to success in life. And these are just a few of many, many examples I could give. To me, the overall effect of Convocation is to help our students keep in mind the things that matter most as they develop into the young men that they are becoming. Academically, it was another very impressive year for the school. 9 seniors from the class of 2020 were named National Merit semifinalists and all went on to earn finalist recognition. The semifinalists represent the top half of 1% of the high school students in the state, according to their PSAT. 106 members of the class of 2020, 56% of the entire senior class, were inducted into the National Honor Society. The NHS recognizes students who have excelled in the areas of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Actually, that was the class of 2021. They were inducted as juniors, the class coming up now as seniors. Additionally, our AP program, which I believe has grown into the strongest AP program in this area, celebrated an average AP pass rate of nearly 80%. And that comes year after year. Over the past several years, the course offerings have increased from 10 in 2011 to 26 last year. And the overall number of AP exams has tripled in that time, with more than 1,100 exams taken by 457 AP Jesuit students last year. That marks the 7th consecutive year at Jesuit where the AP pass rate was 76% or higher. And if in 6 of the courses, there was a 95% pass rate, and 14 others had an average score above 80. And I mean, just to give perspective, the global average for AP is under 65%, and the state average is under 60, the pass rate. In June, we were really blessed. It was one of the greatest couple of nights. We were able to celebrate the formal conclusion of the academic year in person with the outdoor commencement ceremony on Alumni Field. And it was a beautiful evening as the sun went down. And once again, 100% of that graduating class, you've never seen a prouder class to graduate. They were all, of course, accepted into college. Of the 200 graduates, 181, an impressive 90.5%, earned academic, athletic, or service scholarships with a total value exceeding $27.7 million. We're so proud of our newest alumni, the class of 2020. The night before, right out in front of Holy Cross Chapel, we were able to celebrate a beautiful baccalaureate mass on campus, right there in the Oliva courtyard. And I'm sure I speak for everybody, that so many people put so much work into both events. And I think, we were all definitely holding our breaths the week before regarding rain, but the ceremonies couldn't have been more beautiful, and I'm not sure we'd ever want to have to repeat that kind of tightrope walk, but it was sure worth it for that class. As you know well, learning and formation at Jesuit extend far beyond the classroom. They occur every day in our extracurricular activities, athletics, and of course, in our service opportunities. In athletics, Jesuit claimed the FHSAA All Sports Award for the 2nd year in a row, earning the #1 spot across all sports programs in all classifications in the entire state of Florida. Both the Jesuit soccer team and the Jesuit wrestling team claimed state championships last year. For soccer, Carson Bien was named the Class 5A Player of the Year, and head coach Eric Sims from the class of '95 was named the Class 5A Coach of the Year. The team finished the season number 6 nationally in a ranking by United Soccer Coaches. In wrestling, Jesuit celebrated 4 individual state champs. Ethan Basil, Tom Crook, Braden Basil, and Kai Owen all earned gold medals in their respective classifications. And 4 members of Jesuit State Duals Champion Wrestling Team were recognized as academic All-Americans by the National High School Coaches Association: Jack Crook, Tom Crook, Kai Owen, and Alfonso Vargas. Jesuit's head wrestling coach, Sal Basil, was named Wrestling Coach of the Year for the state of Florida. Swimming finished 3rd in the state, football won regionals, and basketball and golf each claimed the district championship. In the spring, although the season was cut short, at the time, the Jesuit Tiger baseball team was 9-0 and ranked #1 high school baseball team in the country in multiple polls. Eventually, senior Henry Politz was named County Player of the Year. In track, also cut short, senior Anson Rowe was the top-ranked pole vaulter in the state. The tennis team was 8-0 and swept 3 matches at the USTA National Campus in Orlando. And Jesuit lacrosse was riding a 3-game winning streak while outscoring opponents 52-9 when the season was suspended. I thought those sports, because it was so heartbreaking for the kids, that those all deserve special mention, those spring sports. But for all of our student athletes who work incredibly hard throughout the year at their respective sports, excellence for them starts in the classroom. I'm pleased to share that our Tiger program, which was #1 athletically in the state, ranked #2 overall in the state's academic team champion standings. Actually, #1 was Belen Jesuit of Miami. We're, of course, incredibly proud of our students who achieve success throughout every area of school life: academics, sports, all the clubs, and the service opportunities. Although the shortened school year affected nearly all activities, we were still able in the spring to celebrate achievements in several different areas. In the arts, Jesuit thespians earned a school record 9 superior ratings, as well as 9 excellent ratings at the district competition back in October. Our student musicians also scored ratings of superior at multiple competitions. Robotics reached the finals at Roboticon, a grueling 2-day statewide competition held at USF. Jesuits Latin Club excelled at the regional forum, with 12 Tigers placing in the top 5 in various events. Sophomores Jonah Tran and Trey George both earned multiple honors. I remember those in my freshman Latin class, those 2 guys. Jesuit High School's award-winning Key Club continued their legacy of service by providing critical assistance to local charities such as St. Jude, the Tampa Kiwanis Foundation, and at the International Holocaust Remembrance event, just to name a few. During the quarantine, May 1st, which was originally scheduled as Senior Day, that's a day in which the seniors are treated to a host of special events, starting with a special convocation here. The student body president gives his final address. They have several other events in the morning, and then they end with an elegant lunch at the Senior Alumni Luncheon. So obviously this year we did things a little bit differently. The convocation message, including the student body president's address, were all sent out by video that morning. And then later in the morning, the seniors came to campus in their cars and passed through in front of Gonsmart Hall and then down Loyola Lane. They picked up their custom graduation sign, yard sign. As they came up Loyola Lane, they were greeted by teachers and administrators and coaches who had lined the sidewalks there. And then they got to the senior parking lot and picked up a little bit of a different lunch than they would have otherwise gotten. It was a lunch to go of Chick-fil-A minis, so they were all pretty satisfied. It had been 8 full weeks at that point since they had really been on campus together, and it was pretty obvious, you know, even though they were for the most part in their cars, it was pretty obvious how much it meant to them, as well as the faculty and the staff who were there to greet them. A couple of weeks after that, I joined a handful of other members of our faculty and staff, and we made surprise visits to the homes of the 3 valedictorians for the class of 2020, Bennett Anderson, Riley Buchanan, and Spencer Farfante. If you get a chance, go back to our graduation video and watch their valedictory addresses. They were really superb. All 3 close friends who studied hard with each other over the course of their 4 years. Anyway, that day we presented each of them these large custom banners to celebrate their achievements, and it was just awesome to see the joy on their faces and their families' faces when we made that visit. At the beginning of his 4 years, at the beginning of freshman year, every Jesuit student learns the prayer for generosity. And in their service to others, they gradually learn, they do and learn what it means to do, or what it means to give and not to count the cost. All year long, in season and out, whether they're getting hours or not, Jesuit students are out in the community serving the sick, the elderly, the poor, the disabled, and at-risk youth throughout the greater Tampa Bay area. They do it internationally, nationally, and internationally as well. Serving really, when they do it, especially when they go on those immersion trips, they serve as missionaries of the gospel. And they're really heeding the words that are up there in Latin as you go out by the choir loft, go forth and set the world on fire. Community service, learning to be men for others, is at the core of our Jesuit identity. Each year we try to recognize and celebrate our graduates who are called to serve the nation in the military. Last year's class, 2020, 5 Tigers committed to attend either the U.S. Military Academy at West Point or the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis. Going to the Army, Brett Jarena, Nick King, Raleigh Oxendine, and Spencer Williams, and Trevor Mayberry is now at Annapolis. Another great example of our students' collective service to others is the annual Thanksgiving basket drive. It goes back decades. It's a true community event that brings together hundreds of participants, students, parents, faculty, and staff. Last year's drive provided the most meals that we've ever provided for. Nearly 300 families locally were fed through our Thanksgiving drive. Earlier in the school year, Jesuit's Director of Community Service, Andy Wood, from the class of 1992, was recognized by the Muscular Dystrophy Association with its Champion of Hope Award in 2019. Another of Jesuit's long-standing traditions is the annual mission drive. This goes back to at least the 1930s. Well, actually, it says here 100 years, so it must go back to the 19-teens. But this past year's initiative was held virtually. So we were like, what are we going to do? We need to have some kind of mission drive. So basically, we just put it all online and invited students to contribute. We raised more than $10,000 in a week, more than $10,000 for feeding Tampa Bay. In March, when the world seemed to come to a temporary halt, you can be sure that our faculty and students did not sit idle. Here's just a few examples. Eric Price, our faculty member who teaches engineering, is the moderator of robotics. He made good use of the school's 3D printer to provide custom plastic shells for N95 masks for medical personnel treating COVID patients locally. Our Native American Club, led by now seniors Jake Geske and Joseph Ringwald, collected essential supplies like hand sanitizer, toilet paper, sanitary wipes, and paper towels for the Caddo Nation, a group of Native American tribes based in Oklahoma. Freshman Joseph Kennedy, this is probably my favorite, he made life a little bit brighter for kids in his neighborhood. He gathered up all his childhood toys and books, and he set up camp outside his house, and he designated these things boredom busters. Camden and Chase Manasseh were featured by Spectrum Sports for their commitment to being men for others. They spent several otherwise quarantined Sundays delivering meals to the homeless at Pinellas Hope. Another pair of brothers, Drew and Nicholas Schultz, collected more than 300 pounds of non-perishable items from their neighbors and delivered them to a local community food pantry. I think we're all justly proud of the way these and other Jesuit Tigers responded selflessly and creatively to help those in need during the quarantine. As we all know, the weeks of quarantine in the spring gave way quickly to a summer of unrest and tension and searching conversations that continue about justice in our country and racial equality. The Jesuit mission statement declares that we aim to form men engaged in the world. And in this area too, our students have taken up the call and responded with thoughtfulness and compassion. Edward Morrison from the class of 2021, who's also the president of our very large African American club, penned a moving reflection focused on change through reconciliation and unity. His classmate, Nico Machado, a talented artist, created a beautiful portrait that accompanied Edward's essay. That portrait included a quote from St. Ignatius: "Not only ought you to continually love and cherish each other, but to communicate that love to others." How much we all need, how much our whole country needs something like that at this time. All the success stories and achievements that I've mentioned are wonderfully and rightfully applauded, but above all, I would say we should take great consolation in the spiritual formation that takes place at Jesuit, because this is what makes the greatest, longest impact, even if not always the most immediately apparent. For the past several years, we've hosted a special Mass at the end of the school year where we welcome new students or students as new members into the Catholic Church. It's our last school Mass of the year every May. This year, we were finally able to celebrate it in June here in the chapel with only close friends, family and close friends in attendance. So on June 18th, the day after the baccalaureate and graduation, the Feast of the Sacred Heart, 3 students were baptized and 4 others were received into full communion in the Catholic Church. Since 2010, a total of 47 students have taken the step to become Catholic at Jesuit. The lasting impact that Jesuit High School's spiritual formation has on our students can certainly be seen outside the gates of Himes Avenue as well. We're always praying for an increase of vocation, and we've got several men in either the seminary, the Jesuit order, or other religious communities. Just a few weeks ago, Connor Penn from the class of 2011 was ordained a priest for the Diocese of St. Petersburg. In other alumni news, we celebrated Mark Donahue from the class of 1971 as our alumnus of the year. Bob Morrison from the class of 1971 was named a community hero by the Tampa Bay Lightning for his work in helping to advance leadership opportunities for African American men and women. Bob's actually the 12th Jesuit Tiger to earn the prestigious hero recognition for exemplary volunteerism and leadership within the Tampa Bay community. I believe there are a couple of others here with us this morning as well. In December, Michael Baggy Hernandez from the class of '99 became the 19th Jesuit graduate to earn a judicial seat when he was appointed to the 13th Judicial Circuit Court by Governor DeSantis. Clark Bullitt from the class of 2015 was the National Football League's grand prize winner of the First and Future Innovators competition. I didn't know they had that, but I guess it's a thing. Clark is a co-founder of the group Protected, which earned the prize of $50,000 and 2 tickets to Super Bowl 54 for his engineering prowess in creating a custom 3D printed athletic football pad to increase protection. He actually developed that while he was a student at Duke University. Dalton Garrett and William Yao, both graduates from the class of 2017 and students at Purdue's College of Engineering, were also recognized for their engineering talents. They helped develop a small, portable, and lightweight step device that apparently has been a big hit for college students in the dorms with lofted beds. It takes all kinds, right? Okay. And most recently, Matthew Hoff of the class of 2000 was appointed Hillsborough County's new head of virtual instruction programs. I would say he has his plate full right now. In closing, it's just important to know, for you to know and to hear from me, that all of these successes in our school life annually, they would not be possible without you and many thousands of people like you who support Jesuit. Each year, you, the members of the President's Circle, play a critical role in the success of the school. So I want to share with you a letter that I recently received from parents. They're actually parents of a graduate of the class of 2020, and they put in very personal terms the impact that Jesuit had on their son. Dear Father Hermes, we would be remiss if we did not take a moment to thank you, your administration, faculty, and staff for providing our son what was a wonderful and, in retrospect, too short a high school experience. We had heard nothing but great reviews from friends who had sons who attended Jesuit, but our experience exceeded even these high expectations. Before enrolling, baseball was our son's passion. So when he did not make the freshman team, we feared he would regret his decision to enroll. To the contrary, he quickly adapted and turned his competitive spirit to academics and developed new interests such as robotics, the pro-life club, and community service. He grew in his faith, and that growth brought our entire family closer to God and the church. We appreciate and are thankful for all the effort that went into staging both graduation and the baccalaureate mass in these difficult times. We look forward to continuing to contribute to the mission of Jesuit High School that did so much for our son's growth from a child to a man for others. That letter pretty much sums it all up for me. I mean, that's what we're striving to instill in, aiming at the total formation of our graduates. I mean, the experiences that Dom's parents mentioned, their experiences that we seek to achieve for our students and our parents, and really your continued membership in the President's Circle is crucial in helping Jesuit High School advance this great mission throughout the Tampa Bay area. I sincerely thank you for joining us today, for investing in the lives of our students. And this year, as we mark our 121st year as a high school since our founding, that support has never been more critical. Just know that your loyal friendship, your generous loyalty, your great generosity is truly, truly appreciated by all the school, by the students, by all the families who need financial help. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.